everyone. This is the Mandalorian recap. I am Romando. With me today is Pedro.
Hello, hello.
And today we will be discussing Season 2, Episode 2, Chapter 10 of The Mandalorian on Disney+.
Mm-hmm.
As we usually do, we just go straight into it on these shows. There's no spoiler-free crap. You better see it to believe it. All right.
Mm-hmm. And then come back.
And then come back. Of course. Unless you don't care, which is feel free. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the content. So, Pedro, what did you think about this episode?
So, it surprised the shit out of me. And obviously, if you guys listened to last episode, we thought it was going to go in a totally different direction. We thought this was going to continue the Boba Fett, however you pronounce it, tomato. We thought it was going to continue that, and it ended up being straight fucking filler. It ended up being exactly what we said it wasn't going to be. We said, they're not going to go to another planet. They went to another fucking planet. They did the exact opposite.
It was forced upon them to go to another planet.
Yes. I was like, holy shit. As I'm watching it, I'm like, oh man, this is straight up going to be a filler. This is straight up going to be exactly what we thought it wasn't going to be. Now, that being said, I know that this is a Cowboy Bebop type show where it is straight filler and then you sprinkle story in it and then at the tail end you kind of tie it up. So was I mad? No. Was I surprised? Yes. But I still really enjoyed it. It felt Star Warsy. It added a nice little horror genre to it, which was really cool. And continued some of the world building, some nice Easter eggs. Yep. So overall, it's definitely enjoyable.
Yeah,
I liked it.
It was an okay episode for me. I didn't really. I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it. I just didn't feel captured by it. It was just like, whatever. You know, it wasn't as good as the first one. It was a very blah episode for me. Even though, you know, it was great to see those spiders, because if you played the games or, you know, seen the cartoons, those spiders come out in them. So it's good to see it in a live action form. They look more menacing in the show than they did in the other mediums. So then, you know, that was a cool little thing. It was great to see, you know, the two X-Wings. And, you know, kind of, they give you a little bit of the backstory about what's going on with the New Republic, essentially, after the fall. And then, you know,
post-war. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the post-war stuff. It was great to see the dad from Kim's Convenience and Dave Filoni being the X-Wing pilots.
I was like, cool. It's fucking Dave Filoni again. So that scene, how did you feel about that scene? Did you like it overall?
Yeah,
I liked that they kind of played it as a... you know, like he was getting pulled over for like a traffic ticket. He was essentially he was getting pulled over for the Star Wars equivalent of a broken taillight.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, your transponder's not working. We need it working so we could see you're not an imp, which is Imperial. And he's like, yeah. The way I read the scene was he didn't want to do that because he wanted to be on the down low. If he turns that on, I guess everyone can see someone's there. So he was just kind of like,
or see where he is, because he's running away, essentially. Remember, he's trying to keep the child hidden.
Exactly. And then they're like, oh, let's run his tags or whatever. And that's when he's like, may the force be with you, you know, trying to be like, hey, good evening, officer. Yeah. And then when they run the tags, or whatever the equivalent of the tags is, I love how you see the wings kind of open up as an X, which is like battle formation.
Yeah.
And that's when you see the, oh shit, and that's when he tries to fucking run for it. I like that whole, it was like suspense / comedy / I don't know. It was just a cool little play of moods that I was feeling in there. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool that they're doing this. I've always wondered what a Star Wars version of a traffic ticket was. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. I liked it.
It was a good moment. Even when they came back at the end and, you know, they saved them, quote unquote. And they're just like, nah, you could get out on your own. Like, we've done enough for you.
Yeah. I actually, so I watched that scene again because I didn't quite understand it the first time. So I watched that scene again, and essentially what happened was, you know, he ran away, they're chasing him, and then he outruns them. And then I guess they went back and ran the full tags, the full history of it, and they saw that he had broken the toilet guy out of prison in the first season, but also let them know where the guys were, did 3 bounties, which they're the 3 that he left there. And what I didn't quite understand was they said that you tried to save Lieutenant Davin, which Lieutenant Davin was the only human that was on the space station that got killed by the knives chick. That was the voice of Anakin, the voice actor of Anakin in Clone Wars. So that's him. But I'm just thinking, how did you know he tried to save him? Like, what? Like,
well, you know, they were on camera essentially.
That's what a lot of people were saying. Like, oh yeah, you know, there's cameras there, so they saw that he tried. So I guess they were like, oh, let's stop you for breaking him out of prison. But at the same time, let's go back and see how he's doing, because this is a crazy fucking planet, because he stopped 3 of them and tried to save the guy, so there's some good in him. So it was enough for them to go and save his ass. And then that's when he's like, hey, I'm going to go pay you guys so you can fix my ship. And they're like, better go on your way. Like, nah, you got this. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. That was a good interaction.
It was a cool, like, oh, that's pretty badass, but at the same time pretty fucking douchey. And then I like the line where he's like, damn, I'm trying to remember how he worded it. He's like, these are trying times, or these are confusing times. So
yeah,
it adds to what you were saying, that it really shows how the mood is post-war, where it's like everything's in flux. You know, like, yeah, maybe back in the day I would have killed you for this or arrested you for this, but now it's like, you're not an imp, so fuck it. There's worse people out there. So I thought that was a cool little world building ish convo that happened.
Oh, for sure, definitely. And I think that's you know, that small world building adds a lot, because it kind of gives you the idea, like the New Republic they're not as stable as you may think, and they're essentially hunting down people now. Same thing that the Empire used to do to them. You know, they were hunting them down. So it's kind of like how the tables have turned, but it's kind of just pretty much more of the same shit now, but just flipped.
Right.
So, you know, I find that idea kind of interesting. How the New Republic is just kind of more of the same.
Yeah. So,
In that world.
one of the Easter eggs in this episode, you know this already as well, is in the cantina scene. So they go to the Mos Eisley cantina. You see it again. Last time you saw it was in season 1. It was overrun by robots, which is a funny little joke, because in the original episode 4, droids weren't allowed there. We don't serve your kind, blah blah blah. So, but anyways, when we get there, in the table you see this big fucking ant alien that has never been seen in Star Wars lore before, called like Dr. Mandible or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's a reference to Peyton Reed, who directed the episode. He's also the director of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So everyone, it's not confirmed, but everyone assumes that that's what he did. It was like,
naturally,
hey, let's throw in like a silly fucking ant character as a callback to what I've done. So I thought that was a pretty funny little thing, because it was weird.
It was very weird.
But I don't know. I guess it was weird enough to still work in Star Wars. Because I'm thinking of all the weird fucking aliens you saw in the cantina scene in the original movie in episode 4. And there's some weird shit you see there, and you're just like, whatever. What's a big fucking ant compared to all this other shit, you know? So it that was another thing, that it was made as a joke, but at the same time, it's like, it works. It still works.
Yeah, it did work. It was pretty interesting. And, you know, she still has a bunch of robots that are a lot of callback to different things. It's funny, because one thing we forgot to mention last episode of a nice little Easter egg is how the sheriff was driving a pod racer engine as a bike.
You're right.
That was pretty cool. And then this
that was
one,
Anakin's.
And in this episode, you have another pod racer engine essentially cooking the meat, which is pretty cool. I thought that was pretty interesting.
So I don't remember if it was a pod racer engine, but in the I can't remember what it's called right now. It's the Star Wars theme park in Disney. Damn, I can't remember what it's called. Black Spire or some shit. Galaxy's Edge. There you go. So in Galaxy's Edge, there is a restaurant. I didn't go into the restaurant, but you could see it from the outside. And in the middle, there is an engine, and the engine is made to look like it's cooking the food that you're going to eat at the restaurant. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's kind of like what they do in Galaxy's Edge. Only the engine in Galaxy's Edge is fucking huge. So I couldn't tell if that was exactly a pod racer engine or just a ship engine. But it's a cool little thing to tie together. Pretty much saying that when you're in like a poor ass place, they're gonna cook with like a fucking whatever they got. And in this case was the pod racer engine. So I did notice that. I thought that was pretty
whatever
cool.
you have. So what do you think about the story about this episode? Essentially, of this lady who's trying to save her line. Essentially, you know, her historical line. I guess you want to say, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. You know, I thought it was a good filler plot, unless it ties into something more important later on. It just felt like another good old adventure of like, hey, you need to help this person, and it also gets you to where you're going, and it'll help you get information you need. So fuck it. You know, it's almost like a side quest. You know, like a fetch quest to take you to that place. Now, there's a lot of controversy, quote unquote, about this that frightened a lot of people that are a bunch of pansies, in my opinion. That so he has to transport these eggs. The whole purpose is that she says that her husband's waiting for her on this other planet. She's going to take these empty eggs and take them over to her husband so they could fertilize it and then have babies and save the last of their line. And now throughout the entire episode, it's an ongoing joke that the child, aka Baby Yoda, every chance he gets will go in and fucking like grab one and eat it. And it's played for laughs. And I was cracking up. I was like, man, hungry ass, you little fucking brat.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people didn't read it that way, and they read that he was eating actual fucking children of this lady. And I'm like, no, technically speaking, it's like eating a chicken egg. There's nothing, there's no embryo, there's nothing in there. And pardon the feint of, what was the word? The ones that get grossed easily, but you're essentially eating a period when you eat a chicken because it's not fertilized, a chicken egg because it's not fertilized. So that's essentially what it was. You're eating an egg that hasn't been fertilized yet. So nothing living was eaten, but yes, you're technically eating the eggs. So I just had to put that out there because I thought people complaining, thinking that, oh my god, the cute Baby Yoda was killing things. No, it's definitely eating eggs though. Yeah, and the eggs would have helped her create more kids.
The only thing he killed per se was the spider in the egg, which he opened up. That's something he did kill.
Straight up, he ate the fuck out of that thing. Yeah, but the spiders are also fucking, you know, primal creatures that at the end just attack them. I actually really liked. I knew where they were going immediately as soon as, you know, he gets shunned away from eating the eggs. You know, Mando's like, stop eating them, you know? And he walks away, and then you can see these things in the background. I'm like, oh man, this is a scene straight out of Aliens. I fucking love it. Like, I know exactly what you're doing. What surprised me was that it was the actual spiders from Rebels, and in a video game, I believe. Yeah. But I thought that was pretty cool, especially the way it opened up and everything. I'm like, oh, this is straight out of Alien. Part of me almost thought like, yo, if a xenomorph comes out, I'm gonna lose my shit. They would never do it, but it did cross my mind. But like overall, I really like that scene. I like that they, you know, they kept it comedic, and then they're treating Baby Yoda as he should be, a fucking baby that doesn't understand. It's like, I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat, and then doesn't really know how to use his powers yet.
Yeah, some people think of it that he could potentially fall over to the dark side because of just how careless he is, you know. Because he also did choke that one person, that girl, I think it was, I forgot her name.
Kara, Cara Dune. Choked her out.
And he didn't care. And then, you know, he just keeps eating live things. That frog in the first season 1, he ate a frog, live frog. So then, people are saying that like you know, there could be a potential of him turning to the dark side. But I don't think his race is that type. He's just a child.
Yeah, I seriously doubt. Yeah, I think it's just the childhood innocence of not knowing like consequences and just being a carnivore. So, like you're gonna eat shit like that. So yeah, I definitely don't think they'll go that route. That would be a very funny, interesting way. But nah, they're definitely not gonna go that route. They're just keeping him, like you said, childlike, kids fuck up and do weird shit all the time. So
Yeah. I would have loved to seen him grow up a little though.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, who knows? It's just so weird. That whole, I mean, we talked about it when we talked about the first season, but that whole life cycle so strange. At 50, you're still a baby, but then at 900, you're dead. You know, it's like, whoa, that's still a pretty big growth spurt. You know, you're a child for you. It's almost like, I wasn't gonna say Benjamin Button, but yeah, it's like you're a baby for so long, and then suddenly you're a teenager for a little bit, you're an adult for a little bit, and then you die, and it's like, whoa, you're a baby for longer than you're anything else. Like if you try to scale it, it doesn't make sense. But whatever, man, it's fucking aliens. You could say, hey, the baby's a baby for a long time, and then he grows up quick,
and then it matures in one day.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Technically, anything's possible, but yeah, they're not gonna go that route. They'll probably
Elongate
they're gonna keep him. They're definitely gonna keep him a baby, and then he's gonna drop it off to the rest of the race.
It's all about that merchandising, man.
Yeah,
they didn't capitalize it the first time around, but they definitely are doing it now.
Yo, they already the day after the episode dropped, they already got a Funko of Baby Yoda with the
eggs,
with the egg canister.
Yeah,
and I thought that shit was so fucking funny. I was like, man, no chill. You guys really like you said, you don't care about spoilers now, so now you're really just dropping them.
Yeah, I think essentially they planned this out already, man, because they showed a Funko of it. So I'm pretty sure that this was already a marketing thing that they've had, you know, when the show was being made. Like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if Yoda started eating eggs from these things? Like, oh, let's make a toy out of it, you know? So it's crazy how, you know, this time they actually planned it out, because season 1 they didn't plan anything. I don't think they even thought it was going to be successful. So
no, they were so worried. No, I think they knew it was going to be successful. They were just so worried about the reveal being revealed early that they didn't want to take any chances on the merch. It's kind of like how they didn't do any merch for Rey having the lightsaber back in Force Awakens, because they wanted everyone to think, oh yeah, Finn. In the trailer we show him with the lightsaber. It's totally going to be Finn. And then it's the reveal, wait, Rey's the one that's going to do it. And then they had to play catch up with all the merch afterwards. They were even calling like the movie like sexist. Like, oh, look, there's no merch of her. I'm like, yeah, there is. You just need to... It's the same thing with the Baby Yoda. They were definitely prepared this time, though.
You know, it's funny because when I was watching this episode and Baby Yoda saw those eggs, I didn't think... My first thought wasn't about him eating it. I thought he was going to connect to the Force with it. Like, because he was looking at it and I felt like somehow he was like force-wise going to connect to these eggs, and I don't know, like he feel a certain attraction to them. I didn't think it was an eating attraction. I thought it was more of a spiritual attraction, you know. I thought they were going to play to that.
Yeah, I don't know if they did like a licking the lips thing, but I'm just like, oh man, he hungry as fuck. Because I think it was when they were cooking the meat, he was gonna eat the meat, and then they stopped him, and then that's when he saw the canister of eggs, and I'm like, oh, there it is. He hasn't eaten yet, so that's what that's what he beelined for. So it just made sense. The visual cues leading up to it, it made sense.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't notice that. But yeah, I mean, this episode is pretty light on shit, dude. There's not much to discuss.
No, there's not a lot, but there is. So if these rumors are anything to be believed, now
next episode it picks up.
Well, I don't know about that. I can't promise that. But the whole Boba Fett thing that we were talking about, we were like, oh, why would they introduce him and not, you know, like talk about it? There is a rumor. I was trying to find some sources, but pretty much they're saying there's rumors and whispers that there is a show starting to film in a couple weeks. And they are 100% sure that it is not Mandalorian Season 3. So they were saying if it's not Mandalorian Season 3 and it's not Obi-Wan, what can it be? So the rumors are it's a Boba Fett show. And that's what this first episode was. It was a backdoor pilot to kind of introduce you to where he is, what happened to his armor. Yes, like a mini series explaining, okay, maybe the build up to it and maybe that moment what happens. So that's another explanation of why they didn't carry that over. What we thought was going to be the explanation of where Boba's been was this 4-episode arc that we hypothesized that clearly is wrong. It's going to be 4 episodes of filler to get to Ahsoka's reveal. That's already where I'm at now. And the Boba Fett stuff that we wanted is going to be the series. That's the biggest rumor, which at this point, with the route they took with this second episode, that makes sense. So I guess we'll see. We'll see if that is it.
I think that next episode is going to be that when they land at that planet that was kind of rainy. Where you kind of see the Sabine Wren. Everybody thinks it's Sabine Wren, Sasha Banks.
Right.
That's
the
what
wrestler,
next episode is going to be. That's what next episode is going to be about.
Which means it's not going to be Boba Fett.
No, it's not.
Exactly. So I think that Boba Fett show rumor is becoming more and more, it's making sense now because of that.
Who knows? I tend to not to believe those type of rumors.
Yeah, there's a lot that have been out there.
There's too many Star Wars rumors that are really out there, and I'm just kind of like, I don't believe any of this shit at this point. It sounds nice. It sounds really good, but
yeah, there's another one that says, "Hey, we're gonna do a Cara Dune, or we're gonna do a Cara Dune show," and I'm like, I don't know about that one because apparently Twitter and all that shit is crucifying her right now. So it's like, who knows? Yeah. Who knows at this point?
Yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, I still feel that Ahsoka and her clan is gonna get a spin-off some point in this series too.
Yeah, they're too important not to. They're too important not to. They're too important to have a show that's not about them. Like if they're still in The Mandalorian, it's like there's no point. This show they need to make a show about them. Same way that if they introduce, well, not necessarily. I was gonna say if they bring back Thrawn. If they bring back Thrawn, but I guess Thrawn could be the villain in the Ahsoka show. So that doesn't really matter.
Anything can happen, man.
So I guess we'll see. A lot of it depends on what route 3 takes. So you're thinking 3 is going to be more actual story rather than filler?
Yeah, because they landed this planet and that girl's checking them out. So I think it's going to lead into that. Because that planet looks perfect for what she wanted. Because she did the frog lady did say that the planet that her husband was in was perfect for the procreation part. So
yeah,
I feel like,
and then supposedly that's the planet where he's seen Mandalorians, which is the main reason why he got on the mission, so that the husband can talk to him about another enclave, clan, whatever. So, I think this is where he finds her, the Mandalorian girl. Sabine?
What's her name?
Sabine. No, not Sabine. Sorry. The other one. Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. And I think this is where he meets Bo-Katan. Or either this one or the next one.
Yeah, but I don't think Bo-Katan is the next one yet. Not yet.
Because we'll see. There's a rumor. Cover your ears, guys, if you don't want to know. But the idea is that the Mandalorian meets up with Sabine and Bo-Katan, right? And they
other Mandos.
I think Ahsoka is like imprisoned. So they say that the Dave Filoni episode is essentially a breakout episode of them going in to break her out. So that's the other rumor, which is like, it sounds great. It's just, there's too many rumors, dude. So
there's too many. It sounds great, but yeah.
So I think I feel like either this one or the next one, which is 3 or 4, because I think 5 is a Filoni episode, right? Or is it 4? I don't remember right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the Filoni episode.
So yeah, so either here or the other one.
Whoa, episode 4, it says revealed. Episode 4 is directed by Carl Weathers. So you know who's going to be in that episode.
Yeah, he's going to be in it.
He's going to be in the episode he's directing. So 4 is directed by Carl Weathers. Still written by Favreau.
So the way I think it is if it's true that episode 5 is going to be like a breakout thing, I think 5 is a setup to 4. I mean, 4 is set up to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Meet at 3, set up 4, breakout 5.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I still think 3 is going to be filler for 4 as the meetup to do the setup of the breakout. I still think 3 is filler though.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Who's directing next episode?
It doesn't say. It says TBA.
Wow, they still haven't released that one. And
They haven't released 11.
It comes out in 2 days.
Yeah. It just says written, but it doesn't say directed. TBA. Directed after that, Carl Weathers. Directed after that, Dave Filoni. And then the rest of the directings are also TBA, which means... Well, Taika's got one for sure. I think they confirmed Taika's back, but we don't know which one that one is.
You have pretty much the majority of people who did the other season. You got Taika back. You have
Deborah
Chow. I think so. I'm not sure about Deborah Chow. Because Deborah
Oh.
Chow was doing the show for Obi-Wan.
You're right. She is on Obi.
This girl, the Jurassic Park girl, what's her name?
Laura Dern? Oh, no, you're thinking of Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard is back to direct another episode.
Okay. Well, there you go then.
And I forgot who else is back. I think the same guy, too, the black guy. What's his name?
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah, Rick Famuyiwa.
He's probably gonna direct the one that he wrote, which is the 7th.
Yeah.
Second to last.
He's back to direct. So yeah, let's see what happens,
Nice.
man. I hope it picks up a little bit because this last episode wasn't fulfilling for me.
Yeah, the first one was so strong that I didn't mind a filler after. It surprised me, but overall, I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed this conversation about episode 2, season 2 of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. Let us know what you thought. Did Baby Yoda eating eggs scare the life out of you?
Did you get triggered?
Let us know so we could talk shit about you. Till next time.
Bye-bye.